I was in Las Vegas for only 24 hours. I flew straight there, went to the Speedway, drove awesome cars with Dream Racing and my friends Lindsay Brewer and Samantha Tan, and flew straight back same day. Only been 24 hours, and Nick already got our G-Force GSR transmission fitted. Look at that, it's already up there. And we have our winters on our rear subframe with the RTS brackets. Now you can really see like just how nice these brackets are and how much time these have saved us from having to engineer all of that ourselves. So the good news is that our transmission is looking really, really good. We did have to cut off a little bit on the side there, so that's trimmed. We had to cut a square on the top and also a little bit up there. The one thing is though, this needs to possibly go a little bit higher, so maybe Nick has to trim a little bit more, but it's in a really, really good position right now. As I mentioned before, we are one of the first people that are going to be doing front mount G-Force GSR to winters in the rear with a drive shaft. Now, I know of a few other people that are currently doing the same thing, but there's nothing done, so we're gonna be learning stuff for the first time and figuring it out on our own. One of those things has to do with these brackets. So these RTS brackets with the winters in the rear, it is great. Obviously, we don't have to make these brackets ourselves, but these were used with a torque tube setup. I think this was actually used for their 6-speed sequential gearbox. So we didn't know if it was to line up perfectly and be straight enough at the right angle for the GSR in the front. And when this was up in the car, Nick just took it down, but I did see it when it was actually still in the car. This still is sitting a bit high. The angle is just a little bit too much for what we'd want for the transmission to go straight to here for our drive shaft, to not have crazy angle. So we need to lower this whole setup right here. And what I mean by that, this entire setup needs to go lower, and these mounts are actually adjustable. So you can see that it's kind of like maxed out right now in terms of being raised up right here. We need to lower this, but we can't because our diff is actually hitting the subframe itself. It also hits right back here is where it's really bad. It's super, super close right here. So Nick is going to have to modify our rear subframe. It shouldn't be anything too bad. You know, I think we're gonna start just by cutting this part out, reinforcing that, and we will also probably have to cut a little bit underneath here and reinforce that. That way, this entire setup is just ideally like half an inch lower, and it'll be a much better straight line to our transmission for the drive shaft. The transmission fit a lot better than I thought it would. You only had to make, you know, a couple really clean cuts here, and we're gonna be putting a removable tunnel cover over all of this. So you're not gonna see it, and it's not gonna look messy when it's really done. And if you notice, this is the stock like shifter opening from here to here, and it sat like in the middle here, offset towards the driver. Now the GSR shifter with the size that we got is actually further forward. It's almost where this entire cutout ends, but this is good for me. That is really, really good for your girl because I am short and I always sit way closer to the wheel. So because of that, the shifter ends up being like awkwardly behind me because I have to sit so far forward. And now the shifter is a little bit further forward, so it'll be forward more with my body and where I sit. So that is really, really good. So really, really good progress with our GSR in the front and our winters in the rear. This is what Nick is going to be focusing on today, modifying that rear subframe, cutting it out and reinforcing it, because we need to get axle measurements and drive shaft measurements as soon as possible. Like looking towards the future, that could be the one potential holdup. We pretty much have everything else that we need, or we're not worried about getting it in time to complete the car. But that custom stuff that needs to be made, that can always potentially hold us up. So this is a big priority. We need to get that modified, thrown back in the car, and get our final measurements. And another thing we need to figure out is our pedal situation. So I'm going to be doing floor mount pedals. I just don't know which pedal set I want, or if my HDK floors that I got for the car have a place to accept like mounted pedals. I believe they do. So that is what I'm gonna try and figure out today. We're gonna get our HDK carbon fiber floors in here, see what our dash looks like. I don't know if I'll be cutting up the dash or putting that in today, but I am gonna open that package finally that I've had sitting from HDK so that I can figure out my floor mount pedal solution. It is gonna be a little bit tricky because we're gonna have to reinforce them underneath it, whether that's with a plate welded underneath the car and then we bolt the pedals to, or maybe my HDK floors will have something, because there was an option for it to come with a pedal plate. So maybe we can just make that. But those are things that we gotta figure out. So I'm gonna go get our HDK carbon fiber goodies and open them up. But first, I gotta get that Celsius Energy though. Stocked up on some new flavors that I've never tried before, sparkling orange pomegranate and sparkling cucumber lime. These are the ones that are actually made with stevia, so that's pretty cool. Nick rocking up with a brand new car. He's been in Florida for 3 weeks and is already getting chasers.
I can't get this in California.
You can't?
Well, not easily, so this is like
what?
The first thing I wanted.
And look, it has the lace. Yes, oh my God, congrats.
Stoked.
Damn, VIP style.
I've got a huge trunk. It's got it all. I'm so excited. Look how big that trunk is.
You should fit at least 2 wheels back there.
Right?
Sold.
Yeah, that's
sold.
all I need.
Your drift spares done. Oh, that's awesome. Ooh, I actually like the lights too. I don't think I've ever noticed is on the hundreds they don't go all the way through like that.
Yeah, so like the reason I wanted a 90 specifically is because this is like the 4-door version of my S14.
I was about to say this is the S14 of chasers.
It is.
Look at the
That's
rear.
Exactly what it is. It's like the headlights are the same, the taillights are the same. Like it's literally the 4-door version of my car.
That is so cool. Yeah, I don't think, maybe I just haven't noticed it from the rear. I've always liked the body style more in the 90s, but definitely like the taillights better.
Super cool.
Oh, that is so cool.
Look kind of like retro-ish.
Yeah. You guys have probably seen this HDK box in the background of many videos, and we're finally gonna open it today. They fit a bunch of stuff in that small pallet. So we have my firewalls, carbon fiber by them, the dash, the universal driver foot tray, which I need to see how that's going to look or be set up with our carbon fiber floors for both the driver and the passenger side. They also fit a Supra rear subframe in here and a bunch of other goodies for Adam. But mostly I need to figure out how these trays are going to work with floor mount pedals. Like I said, there was an option to actually have a foot plate put in there so that you can mount your pedals to these carbon floors in the car. I didn't end up getting that plate because at the time I didn't know I was gonna do floor mount pedals. Now we are, so we're gonna figure out what we gotta make on our own now. I'm gonna take all this stuff over to the shop, and then unwrap it there. All of our carbon pieces are in the shop so we can start to fit them, and Nidge has already started to modify the subframe. Good sir, you want to tell us about this little hole here?
Yeah, the way the casing sits, since it sits upside down.
Oh yeah, I showed them that.
So yeah, that's touching, so I left a little piece here basically, then I'm gonna make a plate that sits in here and ties the whole piece together and basically boxes it.
At the bottom?
Yeah,
like right
yeah.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just box in that whole area, and then should be just equally as strong as it was before.
And hopefully we can get away with only cutting this. 'Cause I showed him too where it was a little bit close here.
Yeah, we'll kind of see. That's why I didn't plate it or anything yet. I'm just gonna mock it in place again, see how low I can make the diff sit, and if I gotta modify that, I'll start doing that next.
It was kind of taunting you when Adam's rear subframe just came. It just came from HDK and it's just ready for the winters in the rear. Meanwhile, we are here. But you know what? We are pioneers. That is what we are. We're doing stuff that's never been done before.
Yeah, this is definitely a one-off type of thing so far. Not a lot of people have done this diff without the 6XD transmission on the front of it. So.
Yep. And the front mount. Like I keep explaining, we're one of the first people, and there are people doing it right now, but right now. So there's no answers.
There's no like set in stone, like this is how it's supposed to be done. It's already been done.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to learn it at the same time type of thing. So.
And I feel like we're furthest along because like I keep sending photos to other people, and they're like, "Oh, so that's how it's gonna work." Or when we run into a problem, we send them photos and let them know.
Yeah, we're slowly getting there. I mean, we're just a couple days into it, so.
We're pioneers, Nick.
We're trying. We gotta be pioneers.
Okay, so I have good news and I have bad news. Let's start with the good. The good news is that these carbon fiber floors look amazing. Like, look at the transformation from this side to that side. And not only do they look good, they're actually really, really sturdy and a lot thicker than I thought they would be when I ordered them. So I'm really, really glad I decided to put these in the car. They're gonna look really, really good with our carbon fiber dash as well. The bad news is that I only have the passenger side one. I actually ordered both of them. I think there was a mix-up on the order, just on the invoice. It only had one, but the one that was ordered was supposed to be the left one is supposed to be the driver one. So that really sucks because, as I said, I was trying to fit these so that we could take them into consideration when we're figuring out our floor mount pedal situation. So that is unfortunate. I need to figure out probably tomorrow if they have one already made. Now, if they have one already made and ready to be shipped from HDK, I could probably get it in about a week, and I can have them add the optional floor plate so that I can mount pedals directly to that piece. So maybe everything happens for a reason. Now, if I do get one in time, I can have it with the built-in floor mount plate already installed into the carbon fiber piece, and then pedal installation will be a lot easier and a lot faster. But the quality of them is amazing. It makes such a big difference visually, and like I said, would help simplify our pedal situation if we can get one in time. Okay, obviously there's still a lot of work that needs to be done on the car, so I'm not going to fully install our beautiful carbon fiber dash here, but I just want to see what it looks like. I'm expecting that we're probably gonna have to cut it up a bit, but we'll see, fingers crossed, maybe it'll just fit with the cage in it now. I did know when they sent it to me that it was going to be slightly damaged. They let me know about it, and I just decided to keep it anyway, because if they were to make me a new one, it would have taken like 3 months. So you can see right here, it's a little damaged. It might be hard to see on camera. A lot of the damage though is on this side. And you can see this like harsh line. It just got damaged in the molding, but maybe I can try and fix it, maybe sand it down and put like more clear coat on it. I don't know, it's a drift car, and I still think this carbon fiber dash looks like 10 times better than any stock one or other ones that you can get for the Corvette. So maybe, if we're lucky, this will fit with very little modification. Let's see.
Shoot, one woman show.
A one-man show?
A one woman.
What is it?
One man show. One.
So it does have these cutouts on the side that I think are for the cage. So like I said, there's a chance that this might just...
Do you want me on that side to even it out?
Yeah. I think, oh my gosh, it does do the cage already. Look at your side.
Hey.
That cutout is already for the cage, right?
I believe so. Are you talking about this?
It's all the way in the front. And I guess that's so sick. It already came pre-cut out for a cage. It's fitting on the inside and where the bar goes across too. Oh my God, oh, that's so cool. Boom, it's like, it's done. We don't have to cut this at all. That is so amazing. That means the only thing that we're gonna have to do is make brackets for this to actually secure it onto here. Oh my God, that looks so good. Hold up, I gotta see the view from the inside. Wow, you guys, this is my office. I'm starting decorating on my office. I love it. Wow, this is so good. I thought we were gonna have to do a lot of cutting. The fact that this just works is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Look at these floors, they're so nice.
Oh, you guys put the floor in already?
On this side. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Wow.
Nick's gonna be stoked about that. No crazy mods for that. Now, I don't think we're gonna get that lucky with the firewall just because of this cage. I mean, we're probably at least gonna have to cut the top of the firewall where these bars come in. I can take it out and try and fit it, but I don't even think we'll do it behind there. But this is huge. I'm so glad that this fits. Here is our firewall, y'all, which we don't actually need this. So this is more so if I end up doing rear mount radiator, which right now I have no plans on doing that. So this would be purely for aesthetics, and if I ever go rear mount. Right now I'm hoping front mount will be fine, but until we actually start driving the car, I won't know for sure. Let's see.
I'm gonna go on the other side.
Yeah, there's no way, obviously, with how the cages of this would work, but... Oh man, we're gonna have to cut so much. Oh, this won't even... I think you have to go in from this side. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, girl.
Oh, girl. Just imagine it, you know? Just use your imagination. Imagine somehow it's all the way back in there. Honestly, looking at it now, I don't think I'm gonna end up using this. I don't think this is it, guys. This would just have to be chopped up so much, and since I don't need it, I feel like I should either save it for a car that doesn't have a cage. Yeah, you know what? I think we're gonna hold off on the HDK firewall. It's just so nice of a piece that I would have to just chop it up so much that it then barely even becomes worth it. And if I ever did rear mount, it'd be chopped up so much that I don't think it would actually be functional. So unfortunately, we're gonna put a pause on this. So much of this stuff I had ordered maybe even half a year ago now, a really long time ago. So we didn't really know the direction of this build at the time. But at least the dash works. That's freaking amazing. All right, it's the next day. Nick already put the subframe back into the car, and we pretty much spent the last part of yesterday freaking out because we thought this was not going to work at all. If you look at this angle, this is super high, and that is so much lower. Oh, I don't think the camera's focusing. God, I'm too short. Maybe from this way. Okay, here, this is an example. So see how low this is, and then see how much higher it is over there. It's probably what,
probably
2.5 inches higher? 2.5 to 3 inches higher is where this part sits compared to our transmission. And this is already what the ideal angle for engine and transmission angle placement. Yeah. So we really don't want to mess with that anymore. And we're just staring at this like, oh God, this is not going to work. So this entire RTS bracket set has only ever been used to pair with their 6XD transmission that goes to the torque tube. So this has never been done before, and we're realizing that maybe this was set up to be offset from his transmission, and maybe
Yeah.
there was a drop point in the transmission that brought it lower to line up with the torque tube. So we were thinking that we were basically screwed in a way, and that Nick was going to have to completely chop this subframe up, rotate the diff so it's actually sitting the correct way, and make a whole new bottom in order for this to line up correctly. So yes, we were freaking out most of the end of the day yesterday. And then we called our friends at Drive Shaft Shop and just started talking to them about angles and what is like the max angle that we could run with drive shaft angle to be safe. And then we found out that they actually can make us a custom drive shaft with different joints in it that are more axle CV style joints that are able to run at insane angle. What they say, like 25 degrees of angle, which is just insane. That's like running like that. Maybe in a lot of off-road cars, they have those, but that made us feel a lot better. So this setup now will work using that special style joint on our drive shaft. And then the angle isn't even as bad as we thought it was, right? Because you measured it?
Yeah, I measured it. It was roughly around 7 degrees, so...
And we were thinking it was maybe 12,
yeah,
13.
I thought it was a little bit more than that.
It looks dramatic. Like it looks...
Yeah.
It looks pretty dramatic.
More stock vehicles, like they can't, like, at least with like normal joints, you can't run, you know, plus I'd say like 4 degrees, 5 degrees.
Yeah.
You don't want anything more than that, but...
Yeah, the normal rule of thumb, like you won't even limit your RPM with the more angle that you have,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So having those special joints was making it possible for us to do this in general.
So that is another thing for people that are wanting to do this that we're figuring out now. A normal style drive shaft. You're already gonna make a custom one for the setup, but a normal style one will not. Thankfully, we're gonna be working with Drive Shaft Shop to get those done. And with that means that we need to take measurements for our custom drive shaft. And now that we have our diff in its place, we also need to get these axle measurements as well. So that's what we're gonna be doing right now, and we're gonna show you guys how to do it. So in case you're ordering this custom stuff, you can take accurate measurements as well. So we're gonna start with the drive shaft measurement because for the axles, they want the suspension to actually be at ride height. So we're gonna have to put the wheels on and then lower the car. But for our drive shaft, we're gonna go from our transmission, but specifically where the oil seal is, and then to the bolt hole for the U-joints over here.
Yep.
And he said it doesn't matter which one, because it's all rotating.
Yep.
Okay. Dun, da, da, da. And our magic number is... Do you mean hold this in?
No, I think I got it. If you want to measure, if you want to see what the measurement is.
Our measurement is 46. Let me see what this number says. Right. That is in 5/8.
Okay.
46 and 5/8 for
That's our measurement.
our drive shaft measurement. Sick. And now we're gonna put the wheels on so we can lower the car to ride height for the axles. Once you have the wheel on, you're gonna be going directly through the wheel, through the hub, and go straight to the bolt face of the diff flange right here. So you can pick any one of these all the way around, and you're gonna measure it from this face to where the axle would sit flat right here, which Nick is, you said is more like this shiny part?
Yeah, that's just where the axle basically sits against the wheel bearing and keeps all that tight. When you tighten the axle nut, that keeps all the wheel bearing tight.
Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, it's this measurement from here to the bolt flat face right here.
I'd say it is.
24 7/8?
Yep.
And that's how you measure for your drive shaft and your custom axles. Drive Shaft Shop just really wanted us to show you guys that because they get that question all the time. I mean, even before they sent over like detailed instructions, we still weren't 100% sure. Like you can get a measurement, but knowing those exact points to go from are really, really important. And like you were saying, every drive shaft and axle will have a little bit of tolerance.
Yeah.
But if we want to make any changes later on, we'd rather start with as close to exact for that measurement as possible, so then we can use those tolerances if we ever need them later on. But that is where we're going to end this video. Lots of Corvette updates happening every single day now, with Nick just hauling ass on this thing and getting it done. There's still a lot of stuff we got to figure out. It's still crazy that we're probably the furthest along in making this happen, so there's still things that we're discovering along the way, just like that issue with the angle from the diff to the transmission and now having to have special drive shaft joints. But I'm sure more things will come up and we're just gonna tackle it as they do. So that is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.